Good morning, everyone, and I welcome all the listeners of this video to the next session on Java. So in the previous sessions, we have started the operators in Java programming language, and then we have covered the first four operators: arithmetic, assignment, comparison, and logical operators. And in today's session, we are going to see about bitwise operators and the remaining operators in Java. So coming to the bitwise operators, there are three bitwise operators: bitwise AND, bitwise OR, and bitwise exclusive OR. So here, what these bitwise operators will do is, it is going to convert the numbers in the form of 4-bit binary numbers, and then they are going to perform some operation, that is either AND or exclusive OR operation between those two operands. So let us see how these bitwise operators will work in the program. So remember these three: bitwise AND, bitwise OR, and bitwise exclusive OR. Now let us see how this bitwise operator will work in a Java program. So see here, what I'm going to do here is, I have declared a class C, right? And in the main method of Java, I'm going to use two variables where variable A is having the value of 2 and variable B is having the value of 3. And I have one more variable C. And what I want to do here is, I want to use the bitwise AND operator between A and B. And I want to store the result of this bitwise AND operator in C. So, and then I want to print the value of C. So what will happen here is, so when I write C equal to A ampersand B, right? When I write C equal to A ampersand B, on the RHS side we have A and B, right? On the RHS side we have A and B. Now AND operation, that is bitwise AND operation, will be performed between A and B. And what is the value that was stored inside A? In the sense, 2 is the value that was stored inside A. So the 2 will be converted into 0010, and 3 will be converted into 0011, right? So for example, 0 will be represented as 0000, 0 will be represented as 4 zeros, right? And then 1 will be represented as 3 zeros and 1. 2 will be represented as 0010. 3 will be represented as 0011, and 4 will be represented as 0100. 5 will be represented as 0101. So this is how the numbers will be represented in the form of 4-bit binary numbers, right? So when I say 2, that will be converted into 0010, and when I say 3, it will be in the form of 0011. Now AND operation will be performed in between A and B. Just remember the truth table, right? If we have true and false, for example, A is having true, true, and false, false, and B is having true, false, true, false, and true, false. And when we apply AND operation, so here when both are true, then we get true. Otherwise, in any other cases, we are going to get false as a result of this operation. And when we say OR operation, when we say OR operations, in such case, when both are false, then we are going to get false. In the other cases, we are going to get true as a result of these two, A and B, right? So this is how AND operation will be, and this is how OR operation will be. So see here, when I say A and B, right? When I say A and B, when both are 1, then we are going to get 1. Otherwise, we are going to get 0. So here 0 and 1, 1. I'm sorry, 0 and 1, 0. 1 and 1, 1. Again 0 and 0, 0. 0 and 0, 0. So A ampersand B, the result of A ampersand B will be 0010, and 0010 in turn represents the number 2. So here number 2 will be stored inside C. So if you print C, we are going to get 2 as an output of this one. See here. So when I say A and B, right, the value of A is 2 and the value of B is 3, and we are going to apply bitwise AND operator. Now 2 will be converted into bits. When 2 is converted into bits, we are going to get 0010. When 3 is converted into bits, we are going to get 00 and 11. So when I apply this AND operation, what I'm going to get is, in case when we have 1 and 1 only, then we are going to get 1. Otherwise, in any other combinations, we are going to get 0. So see here, 1 and 0, 0, 1 and 1, 1, 0 and 0, 0, and then 0 and 0, 0. So finally, A ampersand B is resulting 0010. And if 0010 is converted into decimal number, it will be number 2. So 2 will be stored inside C, and 2 will be the output of this code. So let us see the output of this code. The main method lies in class C. So I want to save this program as C.java and then compiling the code and then running the code. So see here, the output of this program will be 2. So this is how bitwise operators will work, right? For example, if I have a number 5 here, and if I have a number something called as 2, so 5 will be represented as 0 will be represented as 4 zeros, and 3 will be represented as 0011. 4 will be represented as 0100, and 5 will be represented as 0101. So here 5 will be represented as 0101, and 2 will be represented as 0011. So when we apply AND operation between these two things, so then we get 1 and 1 1, 0 and 1 0, 1 and 0 0, 0 and 0 0. So we are going to get 0001. So 0001 means it is directly representing the decimal number 1. So here 0 will be represented with 4 zeros, 1 will be represented with 000 and 1. So 0001 will represent the decimal value 1. So the output of this program will be 1. Right? Verify the output. I'm sorry, just a second. 0 will be represented with 4 zeros, and then 000001, and then 0010, 0011. So 0 1 2 3, and 4 will be represented as 00, 0100, and 5 will be represented as 0101. Right? So we are doing AND operation between 0101 and number 2 0010. I'm sorry. So 2 is represented as 0010. I'm sorry. In the last example, I have taken 0011 for 2. So 2 is represented with 0010. So 5 is represented with 0101, and we apply AND operation between these two. 1 and 0 will be 0, 0 and 1 will be 0, 1 and 0 will be 0, and 0 and 0 will be 0. So finally, it is going to print 0 on the output screen. That's what we have seen the output of this program on the output screen, right? So see here. For this, I am going to get 0 on the output screen. So what happens, right? What happens? There are 3 bitwise operators. So what happens if you use R symbol in between these two operands? In place of this one, if you use the R symbol, right? If you use the R symbol, what is going to be happen in the sense? So in case of different combinations, for example, if both the operand values are 1, then we are going to get 1. if both the operand values are 0, then we are going to get 0. In the other cases also, we are going to get 1. So if I apply the OR operation between these two, 1 or 1 will be 1, 1 or 0 will be 1, 0 or 1 will be 1, 0 or 0 will be 0. So if both the things are 0, then the resultant will be 0. In all the other cases, the result value of OR operation will be 1. See here. So let us take some small numbers, right? For example, A equal to 2 and B equal to 3. So see here. So 2 will be represented as 00, right? 10. 2 will be represented as 0010, and 3 will be represented as 0011. So if I apply OR operation between these two things, 0 or 1, 1, 1 or 1, 1, 0 or 0, 0, 0 or 0, 0. So 0011. So 0011 means it is representing 3. So 3 will be stored inside the variable C, and if we print C, 3 will be printed on the output screen. Right? 3 will be printed on the output screen. Similarly, we have one more bitwise operator, that is exclusive OR. Right? And then let us see the next things, bitwise operators. So under the bitwise operators, we have the following operators, that is bitwise NOT, shift right, shift left, shift right with 0, or shift right with fill 0, etc. So, and ampersand and bitwise exclusive OR, bitwise OR, all these operators comes under bitwise operators. Right? So along with these three, right? Along with these three, and OR and exclusive OR, right? And OR and exclusive OR, we have something called as shift right, shift left, shift right with 0, etc. Right? So here, if A equal to 2, then it is represented as a 0010. If we apply shift right or shift left or shift right with 0, then what is going to be happen is either this 0 will be shifted to here, and if we apply shift right, this 0 will be shifted to here. So the resultant will be 0100. So this is how these bitwise operators will work. So the decimal numbers will be converted into bitwise numbers, and these bitwise on these bits, we are going to apply some operations like shift right, shift left, shift right with 0, etc. And then there is one more operator. This is called as ternary operator. So ternary operator. So here we have an expression, and in case that expression is true, then this will be the output of this expression, and when expression is false, the second one will be the output of this expression. So how we represent this one in the sense, see here, if A equal to 2 and B equal to 3 and C, what I want to do is C equal to, right, C equal to A greater than B, right, A greater than B. So in case A greater than B, I want to store A or B. So what happens here is, if A is greater than B, then the value of A will be stored inside C. If B is greater than A, and which means if the condition is true, right, if this condition is true, A value will be stored inside C, and in case if the condition is false, B value will be stored inside C. So if A is greater than B, then C equal to A will be done. If A is greater than B, condition if fails, C equal to B will be done. So see here, the value of A is 2 and the value of B is 3. So we are checking whether 2 is greater than 3 or not. So when we check 2 greater than 3, the condition fails. So if the condition is failed, the value of B will be stored inside C. So when we print C, 3 will be the output of this code. Let us check this one. See here, 3 is the output of this code. When I say A less than B, so 2 less than 3, so the condition is true. That's why A will be assigned to C. So the value of C will be 2 here. See here, the value of C is 2. So this is the called as ternary operator, and it was represented by using question mark and colon. So here we will have an expression. In case if the expression is true, this is going to be written as an output, and in case if the expression is false, the second thing which was after colon will be assigned to the variable which was present on the LHS side. So here is the variable. For this variable, if this expression is true, then expression 2 will be assigned to the variable. If this expression 1 is false, expression 3 will be assigned to this variable. So here, this type of operator is called as ternary operator. And then let us see the next type of operators called as unary operators. And we call them as unary plus, unary minus, increment operator, decrement operator, and logical complement operator, right? So see here, coming to these unary operators, C equal to, when I say A plus plus, right? C equal to A plus plus. So I'm going to print the value of C on the output screen. If I write A plus plus, the meaning of this one is A equal to A plus 1. A equal to A plus 1. So see here. So the value of A is 2. The value of A is 2. So 2 plus 1. So 3 will be stored inside A, and A will be, the incremented value of A will be stored inside C. So if I print C, the output will be 3 here. Just a second. So we have done one thing. Just remember, when we use these unary operators, there will be two things: post increment and pre-increment. At the same time, post decrement and pre-decrement. Right? So remember these things: post increment, pre-increment, post decrement, and pre-decrement. So when I write A plus plus, it is called as post increment. So the value of A will be assigned to C, and then the value of A will get incremented. See here, initially the value of A will be assigned to C. After assignment of this value A to the C is done, and then the value of A will get incremented. So if I print, see here, if I print the value of A, if I print the value of A, see this one. So the output of this code will be 2 and 3. Initially the value of A is 2, but when we say A plus plus, it is going to be incremented by 1, but we have assigned C equal to A plus plus. What will happen here is, so the value of A will be assigned to C. So initially the value of A is 2. So 2 will be assigned to C. That's why we have got an output of 2 for this first println statement. After assignment is done, the value of A is going to get incremented. So the value of A will become 3 here. So that's why we got the output 2 and 3 when we say C equal to A plus plus. So it is called as post increment. Increment will be done later, right? So when we use this same increment operator before the variable, it is called as pre-increment. So now what will happen is, first A value will get incremented. So A value will become 3, and then that will be assigned to C. So in this case, the output will be 3 and 3, because increment is done first and then assignment is done next. So if you want to do assignment first and then increment next, use the variable A here. If you want to increment the variable first and then assignment, use A here. So it is called as pre-increment. Pre-increment. Increment will have higher priority and then assignment will be done. So see the output of this program. So when you see the output of this program, we got the two numbers 3 and 3 as an output, right? So similarly, we have A minus minus, which is called as post decrement. In case of post decrement, initially the meaning of this A minus minus is A equal to A minus 1, right? A equal to A minus 1. So see here, initially A will be assigned to C. So 2 will be stored inside C. After storing the value of 2 in C variable, now 2 is going to get decremented by 1. So now the value of A will become 1. So see here, the output of this code will be 2 and 1 because 2 is assigned first and then 2 got decremented by 1. See the output of this code. So if I see the output of this code, it is 2, 1. And let us see what will happen if you use the same thing before the variable A. Now, decrement will be done first and then assignment. So the value 2 will become 1 and 1 will be assigned to C. So when we print C, we get 1 as an output. And the value of A is also become 1 because we have written minus minus A. So the output of the second statement will be 1. So in both the cases, we are going to get 1 as an output of this code because we have done pre-decrement. So decrement will be done first and then assignment. So you can see the output. So it is 1 and 1. So here, in case of unary operators, this is called as increment operator and it is called as decrement operator. So increment is of two types. Increment and decrement is of two types: pre-increment and then post-increment. So in pre-increment, increment will be done first and then assignment, and in post-increment, increment will be done next. Similarly, in pre-decrement, decrement will be done first, and in post-decrement, decrement has some least priority, right? So this is all about these increment operators. And then we have one more called as here logical complement operator. What it will do here is, so what this logical complement operator will do, just a second. What this logical we are discussing about, right, logical complement operator. So what it will do is, it is going to be work on only Boolean variables. It will not work on any other data types. It only works with the Boolean variables. So when we declare a variable with Boolean, for example, see here, I have a variable Boolean. So my variable name is A and it contains the value of false, right? It contains the value of false. And then I have one more variable B, right? I have one more variable B. Now what I want to do here is B equal to, right? B equal to logical complement operator A. So I want to print both the values of B and A. So if I print both the values of B and A, then let us see the output of this one. So I am getting true and false. So see here, the value of A is false, and inside B, I am inverting the value of A. Inverting the value of A in the sense, if we store true in A, it will become false. If we store false in A, it will become true. So see here, this logical complement operator, what it will do is, it will just invert the value of the Boolean. So it cannot be used with the integers, or it cannot be used with the floating point numbers, or it cannot be used with some other things. It can only be used with the Boolean data types. So when we use this with Boolean data types, so the value inside that variable will get inverted. So see here, when we take true here, it will become false when we use this exclamatory mark before the variable of Boolean, right? So see here, So this is all about these unary operators. And then coming to the precedence rules and associativity. So why we got this precedence rules and associativity in the sense, see here. So I have declared a variable int a equal to 10, comma b equal to 20. So int a equal to 10, b equal to 20, comma c. So what I want to do here is I want to print the value of c, where c can be calculated as a star b, right? C can be calculated as a star b. So see here. So I want to calculate c as, for example, I want to calculate c as a minus b star c. So here a minus b star a. Let us consider I want to calculate a as a minus b star a. So see, in this expression, there are two operators, minus and star. So now compiler, if there are no precedence rules and associativity, now compiler will get confused whether to execute a minus b first or to execute b star a first. So if, say here, if a minus b is executed first, then the output will be, when we say a minus b, 10 minus 20. So minus 10 into 10. So it will be minus 100 will be output if a minus b is executed first. In case if b star a is executed first, b star a in the sense 10 into 20, which means 200. So if b star a is executed first, the output of this b star a will be 200, and the value of a is 10. 10 minus 200, we are going to get minus 190. So now compiler don't know whether to execute a minus b first or to execute b star a first. What tells the compiler to get the desired result? See here, let us see the output of this code first, and then we can discuss about these precedence rules. See here, the output of this code is minus 190. As we discussed earlier, if a minus b is executed first, we are going to get minus 100 as an output, and if b star a is executed first, we are going to get minus 190 as an output. So see here, the output of this code is minus 190. The meaning of this one is b star a is executed first. Now what tells the compiler to execute this b star a first? So those rules are called as precedence rules. So precedence rules will tell which operator needs to be executed first, and which operator needs to be executed next, and which operator needs to be executed last. So precedence rules will give you the importance of operators. Now my question is, for example, I have taken a star b star a. In the earlier we have minus and star. So according to the precedence rule, star will have highest importance. That's why compiler has executed b star a first, right? In case if I have a star b star a, then both in this expression, both the operators are same. In case if both the operators are same, both will have the same precedence, both will have the same importance. Now what the compiler will do, whether it will execute a star b first or it will execute b star a next. So in case if an expression contains two or more operators which are having the same importance, then associativity will comes into the picture. Associativity in the sense whether to execute the expression from left to right or to execute the expression from right to left. If the associativity of this star operator is from left to right, then a star b will be executed first, and then the result will be multiplied with a. And if the associativity of the star will be from right to left, b star a will be calculated first, and the result will be multiplied with a. So if the two operators in an expression are different, then the compiler is going to check the precedence rules in the sense which operator to be executed first among the given two. In case if an expression contains both the operators with equal precedence, then it is going to check associativity of that operator. If it is from left to right, compiler is going to execute the expression from left to right, and if it is from right to left, compiler is going to execute that expression from right to left. So this is all about precedence rules and associativity, right? If it depends upon the operators in the expression, precedence rules depends upon precedence rules and associativity rules both depends upon the operators in an expression. See, next one, see here, among all the operators, this braces will have the highest precedence. So whatever it may be, A minus B, the output of this code is minus 190. We have shown this one because star is having highest importance than minus. So if I kept this A minus B inside the braces, now the output of this program will be minus 100. Minus 100. Because when we use this braces, A minus B will be calculated first. When we use these braces, A minus B will be calculated first, which tells the compiler to execute this one first. So the things which are represented inside these braces will have the number 1 precedence, and then new keyword in Java will have the number 2 precedence. Dot will have number 3. Unary, that means increment operator and decrement operator, will have number 4, and then minus, plus, all these are having number 5 precedence. Star, slash, and modulo division will have the 6 precedence, right? See, and then plus and minus will have the 7th precedence, and so on and so on. Assignment will have the last precedence, right? Assignment will have the last precedence. And see here, so if we are having star and slash in any same expression, for example, here I have taken something called as A B star A by B. So now B star A will, here if you observe this table, both star and slash are having the same precedence. If both are having the same precedence, then we have to go for associativity. What the associativity is telling, please execute the expression from left. So left associative means please execute the expression from left. So if you execute this expression from left, B star A will be calculated first. That means 10 into 20, 200 divided by B, in the sense 200 divided by 20, we are going to get 10 as an output of this code. So you can see the output of this code. See here, 10 is the output of this code. So this is possible how, in the sense both star and slash are having the precedence number 7 here. If both, sorry, 6 here, if both are having the same importance, so the compiler will leads to a confusion whether to execute the star first or to execute the slash first. Then compiler is going to check the associativity. So depending upon the associativity, if the associativity is given left, the expression is going to be executed from the left. If the associativity is from the right, then the expression is going to be executed from the right. So, and the last one, comment lines. So there are 3 types of comment lines: single line comment, multi-line comment, and documentation comment. So if you want to write single line comment, just use double forward slash. And if you want to write a multi-line comment, just use star slash at the starting of the comment, and slash star at the starting of the comment, and star slash at the ending of the comment. And if you want to write the documentation comments, use slash double star at the starting and use star slash at the ending. So I will explain the comment lines in the next class also. I will give